Welcome back to another installment of Stay Uncomfortable. This is your boy Yohan.
It's your boy Oscar.
Bro, how you doing today, man?
We're doing good, sir.
Doing good?
We're doing very good. How you doing?
I'm tired, nothing new,
Nothing new.
but we feel good, bro. We feel all right. You know what? The sun is doing its thing.
That vitamin D.
Yeah, let me put it that way because you rain people, the cloud people. Yeah, I like
I like that. The cloud people.
the cloud people.
Kind of reminds me of like if we were like in the not the Renaissance times, like the times when Lord of the Rings was like the setting.
Yeah.
I don't know what that time is called. And you have like, oh, we have the people of House of whatever.
Oh yeah,
House of whatever.
I know what you mean. You see, you have a much more wholesome mind than I do because when I think the cloud people, I think Naruto, the village of the clouds, which is all just black people. And there you are.
Yeah.
And
I
there
didn't watch
you are.
Naruto, so
You didn't watch what, brother?
Naruto.
Let's just get this show started. How you feeling, man? Tell me. Let's do the wellness check. What's good with you?
Spiritually, I'm a 8. Give myself an 8. I feel thankful for my life. I feel thankful for the things that are going on
This man feels revitalized.
a little bit. Emotionally, I'm like a 6.5.
Okay.
It's not bad. And mentally, I'm like a 7. I'm like a 7. Bro, I graduated in like 2 weeks already. It's like the 12th or the 12th.
My son's really gonna make it. He's gonna take us all out of the hood. All
yeah.
of us.
Yeah, with my associate's degree.
Yeah,
No, I don't wanna diminish
please
the
don't.
accomplishment. And I don't want anybody else out there to feel like just because they're getting their associates to be like, oh, it doesn't mean nothing. Like it means something. Especially coming
Yeah.
where we come from. Like niggas don't even have GEDs.
That's true.
So let
Which
alone
is crazy at this time, like in this stage.
yeah, let alone an associate. So
Yeah.
shout out to anybody who's getting their associates. Not just getting their associates, but getting their associates, period.
Yeah, and shout out to anyone who decided to go like further into their career and even those who decided not to go to college. Shout out to those who decided to get their trades in too,
Yeah.
because we need y'all. We need blue collar workers too. I myself am a blue collar worker as of right now, and so are you, technically.
Yeah.
Like every Thursday, this man blesses me with the presence of a certified forklift driver, bro. Every Thursday. I am in the presence of a certified forklift driver.
Certified?
Yeah, bro.
I'm not certified though.
So you just hop on the forklift and they just, yeah, get some ice cream.
Yeah.
Did they give you any training?
No.
So how'd you learn?
Watching others and doing it.
I feel like OSHA is going to want to watch this video. I feel like we're...
By the time this video drops, I might not even be working there anymore.
I hope not. I really hope not.
All right, man. Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. So emotionally, mentally, and spiritually across the board, I'm at a good 7.5.
Let's clap it up for Yohan. Good
That was weak.
7.5.
Yeah, 7.5, bro. That's where I am. I feel good. My mind is finally clearing up. Not that foggy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. That's as much as I can say, man.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Even though mentally, I should like downgrade myself down to like a 6 just because. All right. So for those of you who don't know, well, nobody would know because he wouldn't have told anyone. 2 days ago, I was on the phone with Manny, and he was doing his deliveries in Texas. And while we're on the phone, Manny gets robbed. Like, he gets straight up mugged. Somebody jumped into his truck and stole some product off of his truck.
He lives in Texas, so any listeners out there that are in Texas, like, I don't know if I want to come down there.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's fine. It's fine. It's not that. Point is that we were on the phone as it was happening. And he was like, hey, yo, put that down. That was my exact reaction. I just went straight into laughing, bro. I was dying. Like, I didn't ask if he was okay. I didn't ask if he was stabbed, if he was going to get fired. No, just cackling. Just proceed to lose it. So maybe mentally I'm not the best right now. So I'm going to give myself a 6.
Dude is a menace.
Bro, it's terrible. I mean...
Manny's a good sport, though, because he didn't really see it as, like, you laughing, bro.
No, he started laughing, too.
Yeah.
He started laughing, too. But yeah, man.
That's
Uh,
funny.
Yo, so before we get into today's subject, which is a really important subject, something that we should tackle more often, but I have a question for you. I got the question of the day today. Me.
This man just breaking all the barriers today.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's it ties in with the show.
I'm a little scared. I ain't gonna lie.
No. The question of the day is: what is a lie that men believe, like across the board? What is a lie that we grow up believing, thinking that it's true or whatever? Something that we think is good for us, but it's really not.
The more women you have, the more of a man you are.
Okay, so you think it is a lie. We've drank the Kool-Aid when it comes to being promiscuous, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to being a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree with you. Actually, I agree with you very, very much on that.
I know you got a different answer, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, no, because I would like to elaborate on that though, because
Yeah.
it's not every day that you hear a man say, "Oh, it's not a good thing to be a hoe."
I think it's a. Would you consider that a cultural like way of thinking,
Mm,
especially where we come from?
maybe not cultural, because I feel like globally this has been something like, oh, it's okay for men to be promiscuous, and it's looked down upon when women do it.
Mm,
But when a man does it, boys will be boys.
right.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. And it's interesting that even biblically, it thousands of years ago, it's the tone is set: one man, one woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're commanded to do, you know. But culture just says, nah, I want to have something and I'm gonna have it. And then I feel like men who lacked self control, men who have no barriers, no boundaries, no self respect, because I feel like for you to do that, you have to lack a lot of self respect. They just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to give my body to whoever, and I'm going to make it normal so that when I do it, I'm not questioned. In fact, I'm going to encourage it so everyone is doing it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is, that in my mind, that creates a really hypocritical paradox. And here's what I mean by that. Nowadays, you have people like the Fresh and Fit guys, like Andrew Tate, uh, the Whatever podcast, who basically they hone in on ridiculizing the OnlyFans girls.
Yeah, I've
Like,
seen it.
you're a low value woman. You're putting your body out there. Nobody's gonna want to marry you. You're embarrassing your children. But then you turn around and ask them, okay, how do you think a man should behave when it comes to sexual promiscuity? And they're like, oh well, a man, we have a seed that we have to procreate. We get as many women as we want to. Or they even say, since women are doing it, we got to do it too. Fight fire with fire. And they don't really realize that they are the ones creating the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the ones saying, oh, these women are sleeping with everyone. Yeah, if we would stop sleeping with them, then they wouldn't be sleeping around with anyone. So we are the source of the problem, us. But we want to say, oh, it's all right, man. Get as many women as you want to. I think I told you a couple of weeks ago that one Dr. Squatch commercial. That
Dr. Squatch is the soap, right?
Yeah,
Right.
there was a commercial like, oh, we got 15 cents, over 15 cents, one for each girlfriend, and I was like, that didn't sit right with me.
You remember a long time ago, and I fell victim to this commercial, this propaganda. It was a long time ago. Remember when Axe came out with that chocolate smell?
Oh, that he was walking by the gym and
Yeah,
he was like a chocolate guy.
Yeah, and
I
then all
remember
the
that.
girls were like, chocolate, and then they all like ran towards him. I fell to it because I ended up buying the thing.
Hard stop though.
Okay.
That one smells good. I don't care what nobody
No,
says.
it doesn't.
But it does.
It really doesn't.
And
bro. I think.
listen. I'm gonna
When
feel.
was the last time you smelled Axe?
I have Axe. I have Axe. Okay, I'm not ashamed to say that I have Axe. I don't use it as a cologne, obviously, but I'm gonna feel icky saying this. But when I wore it, I've had multiple women tell me that it smells really good. Like,
Yeah, because
oh, what's that?
Because it smells like what a man is supposed to smell like.
Okay, but then whose opinion do I care about? A man or a woman's?
Your own.
Well, I like the way it smells, so technically,
All right then.
see.
But
I'm comfortable enough to say that.
but,
However,
but,
it's like one of the few axes that actually
but
smell
what I'm
good.
trying to say is that like I didn't buy it for the smell.
You bought it to impress the other ones.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it smelled like until I actually bought it. The commercial is what attracted me to buying it, and the commercial, my whole dude was a whole chocolate man.
You didn't like it? Oh, you wait.
I bought it.
This man was hoping to turn into the chocolate.
No,
man.
I was just hoping. You feel me? I was just hoping that like whatever. But I think my nostril like as not. I think the same as taste buds, like nostrils and senses of smell, they kind of mature over time.
They evolve. Yeah.
So now I smell certain things, and I'm like,
you.
yeah, like
Ew, brother.
yeah. Like Axe or like Hollister perfumes or like
Yeah. See those things. I just call them body sprays, bro.
they're body sprays or
But
splashes as women call
I
them.
feel like as we evolve and mature, we start to like understand the appropriate moments for things.
Yeah.
Like I'm one guy that says, you know what? I feel like every man should splurge a little bit on a cologne.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like, I'm the type of dude, like, for example, in the house setting, and I don't want to get off the topic, in the house setting, I think certain candles should go in certain places.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just have everything everywhere.
Mm-mm.
So there's a time for you to wear a strong, manly cologne, and there's a time, they have sweet colognes for men, too.
Yeah.
You can wear those. So it's just a tip for the guys.
Yeah. And also, less is more.
Yeah.
I've had to understand.
Yeah, man. Even through the commercials, we can see it that the whole point of a lot of things that is supposed to attract men is just to basically show that, look, if you buy our product, this is how women will react to you.
Yeah. It's basically how culture has basically accepted that it is common for men to be hoes.
Yeah.
And something that I've had to understand along the lines. I love that you said that one, by the way, but something that I've understood, just because something is common does not mean it's normal.
I agree.
Something is happening a lot. Everybody's doing it. Oh, it must be. No, it is not normal. It is not normal for a man to share the most intimate parts of himself with a myriad of women.
Mm-hmm.
It is not normal. And I always draw the example. Men would sooner give women their bodies than their passcodes to their phones. So we have a very skewed perspective on what's important.
Facts.
The priority scale is non-existent at this point.
Yeah.
And, we just want cheeks. That's really what it is. We are uncontrolled. We are completely out of line, and we want to not feel bad about these things. So instead of being accountable, we tell other men it's okay. So that was a good one. Sorry, I hijacked your point. But
again, bro, it's your world.
I just feel like you were gonna let it go quicker, and I wanted hold on, we need to talk about this.
No, I wasn't gonna let it go quicker. I just wanted to get yours in there so then we can just kind of.
All right, so a lie that I feel that men believe growing up all the time, and even when we're adults, is very hard for us to let go. We really do not believe that the people who we surround ourselves with influence us. We really feel like we do not have any type of influential.
And I think that's an ignorant thing because since we're young, since the moment like we're able to socialize, our parents always tell us that friend of yours, you don't look like he's too. Mm-hmm. But then I like it's like in psychology, like we get to a point in age where it's called like the super ego, where it's like, oh, we think we know everything. It's like around the age of like 8 to like 12, around there.
I can't wait for this man to get his degree. This is great.
And
what? Talk to me about the super ego, bro.
It's basically like you're a know-it-all. Like, you know how kids get to that certain age where it's like you can't tell them nothing.
Yeah.
Because to them, they know it all. Everything that they're doing is right. And like we get to the point where it's like our parents obviously know better than us through experience and just wisdom. And I feel like if they're telling you, look at Fulano, Fulano,
No.
look at this guy. He's your friend, but I can see that the steps that he's taking towards manhood or whatever in his life, they're gonna lead him down a terrible path.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Stay away. Because even if right now they're just kids and innocent, you can see certain patterns. Like I can see, like as a 12-year-old, that the kids that were sagging their pants in school and getting late and getting to school late and cursing everything. I can probably look at a few now in their lives.
Now you could tell the patterns on where it's going to lead them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And our parents, who have seen that multiple times, have a way better perspective than we will.
Exactly. And they're just like, don't hang out with this guy. Like, I know he's your day one, but, I know y'all share fruit snacks, but, I bought yours. He stole his.
Yeah. Oh. Dang. See, these are the things that we choose to ignore because we got that super ego
Yeah.
going on.
And if we really do full circle, we realize that day one, homie don't got a dad in his life, and then his mom is is not really there, so he got to grow up with his uncle who's a drug dealer, and then, but
And,
we're
man,
not.
and many times those day one homies, we love them, but sometimes they feel the need to drag other people down the same path that they're going through because misery loves company.
Exactly.
And then the worst part is that they don't really feel like they're doing anything wrong. This is just what they've known
And,
their whole life.
and we can kind of go back and forth. Another lie that men believe, and I think this maybe might go across the board in all genders, but we want to stick to the men.
Yeah.
Is that we don't believe the power that we have to influence anybody. And if we would realize that at a young age, even amongst just friends, if we would just make the difference, we don't know if we are setting an example for somebody else.
Or breaking a chain
breaking a chain.
Yeah, I like the flip side of the coin of that because I've been in situations where I've been out of pocket, I've been out of line, right? And I've had a friend say, "No, that's not right."
Right.
And that in the moment, it completely changes my perspective. Like, yo, you're right. This isn't correct. And it's not like it's a bit of a humbling experience, but it's like, yo, I'm grateful that I had somebody in my life who decided to step up, to not be a coward, to just go along with the flow and just stand up for what's right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It's true. We do have sometimes our power to influence is going to be challenged. But but most of the time when there's people who want to change, they just don't know that they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because everyone around them has been doing the same thing. But going back to the other side, we all know the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. We all know it. And if you hang out with a broke person long enough, you're going to start to think like them. If you hang out with someone who thinks that being a promiscuous is a good thing long enough, you're going to start to do it. If you are a married man who's hanging out with other guys who are married and all they do is talk negatively about their marriage, eventually you're going to start sharing their perspectives and reflecting their behavior because you're not man enough to challenge it. So that must mean that your mind is so weak that you're going to accept it and they're going to infiltrate your mind, and that's going to take part of your behavior.
Exactly.
So I really hope that the guys listening to this keep in mind the people who you entertain, the company that you entertain. It's like the Psalms that we read.
Oh, Psalms 101.
Psalms 101. The company that you entertain and the things that you accept will become your normal. Because everyone's doing it. And remember, just because something is common does not mean it's normal.
Yeah, and it's like I always say, sometimes we don't even want to allow it to become our normal, but sometimes we just go into the current, and next thing you know, we're in it, we're in the group.
Bro, it's like the saying, "Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are." It's very true.
Facts.
So, that being said, I feel like that leads us right into today's episode, which is
what a strong man looks like.
What is a strong man?
What is a strong man?
According to God.
According to God.
That's what
I was reading some of these verses, and these are literally Jesus.
Yeah. Which is the best example.
The best example.
So yeah, today's episode we're going to be talking about strong men, what a strong man really is, because there's a big notion going back to these red pill podcasts that a strong man is somebody who basically is the alpha male, goes after everything, conquers, gets as many bodies as he possibly can, and there's so much more depth to being a man, designed by God. Because if being a man would be that superficial, it wouldn't be that hard at all.
It wouldn't. I want to say one thing before we get into this, because I know we mentioned what it means like to be a man by God's standard, and a lot of the Bible verses that we have here are of Jesus himself. I just want everybody to know, for those especially that aren't believers, that the reason Jesus came into the earth was so he can relate to us.
Yeah.
Was so that he can relate to us. And I don't want you guys to think or hear this and be like, oh, but that's Jesus. He was perfect. It was easy for him. No, Jesus was tempted with a lot of things, just like we're tempted every day with a lot of things. It wasn't, and I'm pretty sure, it was probably easier because he is the Son of Man,
Son of God,
the son of God, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, he was tempted. And I always like to say this. Nobody knows what Jesus was doing in his teen years or his kid years. We only know what he was doing when he, I guess, went 32. I think is the age.
30. I think from age 12 to 30, we have just a drop off.
Yeah, we have nothing on Jesus, and I can assure you that he was doing regular kid and teenager things.
Yeah.
Like he was playing, and I'm pretty sure at one point, this is just me assuming, I'm not. This isn't biblical. At one point, maybe it's since he had human emotions, he might have liked the girl. It doesn't say that, but I'm just saying from a human perspective, and he was fully man and fully God. He had human emotions. He got hungry like we did. He got thirsty like we did. He didn't fall into any temptation, yeah. But at one point, you never know.
Right. So I'm not sure about that.
No, I'm just.
But I definitely understand where you're going with this. And just to add on to that, Jesus came into this world, obviously, to die for our sins. That was the biggest thing. But also, everything that he went through, since he was 100% human, I feel like that happened so he could teach us that it is possible to do.
Right.
Like whatever it is that he got done, overcome temptation, be a man who stands on business to make sure that nobody comes through with any nonsense. He was not gonna let go. No, if I can stand at the door and not let any nonsense through, so can you.
Yeah.
So, I believe that Jesus is the best example of what a man should be. And I always had this quote: "Be as good sons and daughters to your parents as Jesus was to Mary." Because he was also a good son.
Yeah.
All right. So
I was gonna say something about that, but it kind of goes off topic.
It goes off topic. Oh. Do you want to say it?
Nah. I think it's real quick though. It blows my mind how, as Jesus being a kid, he was still doing human things. And he was still allowing Mary to take care of her. But the key word is allowing, because even through all of it, Jesus being fully man, fully God, he was taking care of Mary. She didn't even know it because she just thought, this is my little boy.
Yeah, bro. Yo, listen to Mary. Did you know? That's a classic. It's a classic.
Completely oblivious that her child is
the Son of God. You know,
like, you think you taking care of me, Mary? Like I am your son, but low key,
I got you.
Yeah, which is wild to think about. But
it is. But let's get into the topic, bro. There's a couple points here, and the statements go as following: strong men are comfortable expressing difficult emotions like grief and sadness. Can you look up Matthew 26:38?
Yeah, I can.
Again, we're going to be referencing scripture in this because it's the best point that we got. If there's anything that we want to follow, is a foundation that the Bible gives us. Got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Jesus speaking. He told them, talking to Peter and Zebedee, the sons of James and John.
Yeah.
He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me."
All right, just for some context, okay?
Yeah.
This is Jesus about to go into the garden. I forgot what the garden is called.
I think it says Gethsemane.
Oh, yeah, and I know it in Spanish, Gethsemane.
Yeah.
But he was about to go into a garden to pray, and basically this is right before he got arrested, right?
But is this the garden where Peter
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, where Peter thought he was a fruit ninja. Anyway, this is him about to get arrested. He knew what was going to happen, and his soul, his spirit was just so overwhelmed with emotion. In fact, he prays 3 times. Goes back and prays 3 times. God, if it's possible, let this.
It's right there, bro. Literally, the verse 39, he went even a little farther and bowed with his face to the ground, praying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me."
Yeah. And then he went back. The disciples were sleeping. He was like, "Yo, you guys can't even stay awake for an hour."
Yeah.
Then he went back and forth. But he was overwhelmed with emotion. And I always say grief is the strongest emotion a person can feel. Because I feel grief and anger.
Okay. Because we've talked about anger before. I just didn't want you to contradict yourself.
Oh, yeah, those 2 things. Like, those negative emotions are the strongest one that we feel. Because if you've noticed, a moment of happiness can be stolen from you like that. But very very hardly can you let go of grief, even if you have consistent moments of happiness that follow it.
Yeah.
You're always gonna feel that anger, that always feel that
The
grief.
crazy thing about those emotions is that those emotions you don't even gotta really try too hard to, because like for example I'm the type of dude like I could be happy and I could just be like,
Yeah, you're such a hard
but
face to read, bro.
but if I'm like grieving or if I'm angry, immediately like someone can tell like, yeah, you're mad about something
Mm-hmm.
without him even you know. So into what you're saying is true.
Yeah, and it's funny that culturally we're always encouraged as men to either hide our emotions, kill them, make sure that no one sees you. And I want to say something. I do agree that as men, there is a certain point in time where we do have to be a strong face.
Right. I agree.
A lot of people say, no, you should always show emotion. No, you should not. Because our emotions, unlike Jesus in this scenario, but our emotions, many times, if gone unchecked and gone unsubmitted to the will of God, can derail a lot of things in our lives. If we let grief and anger set in and we, oh no, I'm going to feel what I feel right now, no, because you're going to end up destroying what you do.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? A lot of leaders throughout history, good or bad, in order to leave, have had to put their emotions to the side.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about there's certain points in certain scenarios where a man should or maybe feels necessary to hide those emotions. It's like I always say, like if you are going through a tough time and let's say you're married and you have kids and you're going through a tough time, I'm not saying seem like a robot, but if you already know that your wife is going through it emotionally, I don't think it helps for you to also be like, because what she looks in you is refuge,
Yeah.
you know? So at least to her, if she knows that you are at least putting up the front that you're okay, that everything is under control, that can at least lead her and guide her to believe, okay, my man got everything under control for real.
Yeah. It gives her emotional space and mental space
And
to
security.
exactly to not fall into the same things that you're falling into,
Hmm.
which a lot of people disagree with even that stance because if you're married, shouldn't you both be going through it at the same time? To which point, sometimes yeah, sometimes my wife knows what's going on in
Yeah.
my mind, but other times I can tell myself, okay, we can suck it up, we can go ahead and just not think about this right now, put this to the side, and then it can be resolved along the line,
Yeah.
a long time. So, with that being said, by contrast, it is healthy for us to learn how to express emotion. Because if you notice in this verse, obviously we're just reading words off of a page. We can't really apply any tone to what's
Hmm.
going on. Um, but Jesus, even with this emotion that he's feeling, he's he's keeping it, he's holding it down. He's like, yo, I'm feeling my soul is overwhelmed. I'm burdened
Hmm.
with grief and sorrow and the stress that he was under. You know, a lot of people feel. You see, when the Bible says that Jesus was sweating blood,
Yeah.
a lot of historians or scientists believe that the reason that he was sweating blood was because the pressure that he was under was so much that his, I don't know how to say, vaso capillare is like blood vessels.
Okay.
Um, and they just broke
Mm,
under his skin,
that's crazy.
and like the it was like a mixture of blood and sweat.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yo, that's a lot of pressure to be under. You
Yeah.
got the weight, the weight of the world's sins on your shoulders right now. So much so that the Father turned his face from him. So I'm pretty sure he was feeling that this was nearing. Somebody who had never been apart from his Father. Like for us, it's normal. It's a very sad thing, but for us, it's normal not to be connected with God because
Yeah.
we live in this world and we're so attracted to those things. But for Jesus, it was an abnormality not to be close to the Father, which is why he said, "God, why have you turned your face from me?"
Hmm.
So, uh, he was comfortable enough to express these emotions.
And I wanna say something too that he went with James and John, and what that leads me to believe is that although he had 12 disciples, there was a few that he was very close to.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, so with this me saying this, it basically I'm just trying to say also you shouldn't put your trust in everybody. Like you should have that circle of however many usually two, three, whatever people that you just know that you can express yourself. You can express yourself with that. They're gonna, if it's a bad thing, they keep you accountable. But if it's just a strong feeling like grief or whatever, that it's people that got your back.
Yeah.
There's people that's not gonna make you, that's not gonna frown up, look down on you for feeling a certain way just because you're a man. Because many times we have friends that if we're feeling a certain way, as they like to say, like, oh, you're acting like a bitch right now.
Yeah.
We don't want those friends around.
No.
We don't want those friends because those are real emotions and we're human.
Yeah, they subtract from our ability to do these things.
Exactly. It's like, okay, like I'm a man. Like my girl just left me, for example. I got my heart broken.
That's a strong ass feeling.
Why
bro.
can't I go to my boys and be like, yo, this just happened, without having to them look at me and be like, bro, get over it.
Suck it up.
Oh, my dog just died. Bro, just get another. No, bro. Like, this is my dog that I grew up with.
This
like
was family, bro.
Yeah, basically. So it's good to have those type of friends.
It is. And again, going back to what I said earlier, the people who you entertain, it says a lot about you.
Yeah.
So if you can't be vulnerable around your friends, maybe it's time for a different
circle.
It's time for a different circle. So next on, which I really like this one, go seeking for John 6:67. Strong men do not seek to control others. This is a point that I really want to hone in on, okay? Strong men do not seek to control others. Whenever you're ready.
I like this. At this point, many of his disciples turned away and deserted him. Can I read 67?
Yeah.
Then Jesus turned to the 12 and asked, "Are you also going to leave?" I like this because I like this for two reasons. We can jump on the "this is for men" and a friend group vote.
Yeah.
Or we can definitely dive into the church.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because
let's do it. Well, what is the name of this show, bro? Come on, do it.
Bro, I got goosebumps. That's how uncomfortable I am right now.
Say what's on your mind.
Are you also going to leave? Jesus did not give a damn.
Well, he did. But he's like, the decision is in your hands and don't worry about it type of thing.
He did care, but he also was not going to put what he was preaching and what he was saying. He wasn't going to soften it just for those who liked him.
No.
That's what I'm saying. And we can go to a friend group and be like, sometimes you're that one oddball in the friend who just has ideas or ideologies or philosophies that maybe not all of them agree with. And it's like,
yeah,
you might lose some friends over the way of thinking. And we can apply this to the church because many churches, as we've seen it with, that one church on Easter with Elevation, whatever, how they decided to, I guess, soften the gospel.
Well, just for context, it wasn't the message that they preached, but rather the invitation that they sent out, which for me, it's very hard to draw a distinction between the two because you're basically saying, let's get people in the door and then we'll figure it out, and that's wrong.
Yeah, and I feel like, and just in the church, I feel like a lot of churches are getting way too comfortable with sin within active members just because of this right here, of the people that left because they don't want them to leave. I feel like and I always go back to the leaders and the pastoral positions. I feel like as a good leader and pastor, you shouldn't care if people are afraid of the truth.
No.
If they want to leave.
Obviously, there's a graceful and wise way to present the truth because I do feel like many leaders are unnecessarily abrasive with their messages.
Right.
And because that's all they know. They grew up seeing fire and brimstone, and that's what they know, and anything other than that is not the gospel. But going back to the point, in this context, I feel like because this is a read thread that we're reading. This is something that someone threaded, and we're just reading off these because these are pretty good. But the point here is that Jesus was not making them stay. He was not forcing them to stay. He was basically like, yo, you guys want to leave too? This is your decision. It's in your hands. Because I'm not about to change what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm not going to control you. Because the point is, strong men do not seek to control others. There's another passage in the Bible that I feel is even more relevant to this point. When Jesus is talking about authority, I love this. I always talk about this. He's talking to the disciples, and he references the Roman soldiers. He's like, you see these men? Don't be like these men. Don't be like them. Don't be like the men who want to flaunt and impose their power over other people. And then he references the culture of heaven, where he says, in this kingdom, the smallest one is the biggest one. The one who serves the most is the greatest amongst us. The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically he's radicalizing these people. He's giving them a culture shock because of what they didn't know, a power struggle, a dynamic. The Jews were in constant wars with the Roman Empire. They were subjugated by them. And all they saw was these Roman soldiers imposing their power on them. Every day the taxes were higher.
Mm-hmm.
Every day there was a flogging. Every day there was somebody getting abused by them. And he was like, yo, this is not what real authority is. Real authority is not seeking to control other people. Real authority, real leadership is you seeking to serve everyone that's around you.
Well, the caption says don't seek to control others. And I feel like since the word control is the one that's being used here, I feel like control is so exterior. Because if you are who you are, if you are who you are supposed to be, if you are a person of character and integrity, you don't need to control everybody because everybody will just be already influenced by the things you do.
There's just no reason why you have to.
If you have to tell people follow me, then you probably aren't worthy
You're
to
not a
be
leader.
followed.
You're not a leader. If you have to obligate someone into following you, you're not a good leader.
If you got to manipulate somebody to follow you, you're not a leader.
You're not a leader. Leadership, people do not understand what leadership is. Leadership is simply you doing what has to be done, leading by example, which is the only thing that you can lead by the way. Because if you tell other people what to do, you're no longer a leader, you're a boss. There's a difference. Leaders show the way. They say, I'm going to do this anyway. If you guys want to follow, feel welcome to. If not, if I'm the only one down the line that's doing this, fine by me. It will get done.
Mm-hmm.
I could use your help. That's all that is. And then when you take that initiative, people are going to look to you and say, okay, what do we do now? Now you're leading them. Because now you're giving them direction. Well, here's what I'm doing. Maybe you can help me out here. Or maybe don't do that because that's going to be counterintuitive to what we're doing. But it's never in the context of you're going to do what I tell you to. You're going to do what I say because that's not leadership. That's tyranny at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like bringing this to a man perspective, many times we get lost in the sauce when it comes to this. Because, and especially in the church context, the Christian aspect, I should say, we love the verse that says, oh, women submit to your husbands, wives submit to husbands. And we really do not understand as men that does not mean women blindly do whatever your husband tells you to do just because. That's not what that means. In the context that it says submit, it means listen to your husbands.
They completely erased that other verse that says also husbands submit to your wife.
Well, yeah, and it's very sad that we have created this dynamic where many women feel like they have to just blindly listen to this guy. No. Before you get married as a man, you want someone to be led by you. You want someone to submit to you. Are you a man worthy of being submitted to? Are you a man worthy of being listened to? Do you have a vision? Are you consistent with what you say you want your wife to do? Oh, baby, I need you to cook. I need you to clean. I need you to, okay. Are you willing to provide? Just like you want her to do those things without question, are you willing to work your ass off without any question to make it happen no matter what? We always like the exterior part of it, what the benefit of it, the gain of it. But we don't understand that leadership is very costly. It costs a lot. It makes us have to adjust a lot of areas in our lives. Because leadership, the sense of authority can be lost in a moment. People can stop respecting you from de un día para otro.
Literally.
As we say.
It happens all the time in jobs. The only reason people hear certain people is because they have a position.
Yeah.
But they be like, "No, I don't respect. I hate homie.
Bro.
If I see him in the street, it's hands."
It's the clipboard warriors at work, bro, that really piss me off.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, oh, I got a clipboard, which the clipboard is really just so you can go do some inventory to see what's going on. But now you're doing something that no one else is doing, so you feel a little bit puffed up.
That happens a lot also in friend groups. Like I don't know if you ever notice in friend groups, like in little circles, there's always that one that kind of exudes himself a little more involuntarily, and it's like a little unwritten thing. That's
Yeah.
like if you have a group of five, there's always one that like, oh, if that one if he don't go, I'm not gonna go either, and then it kind of just everything dies down, and that kind of makes that person like puff up a little bit, like yo, I'm the alpha of this group.
Would you say that was me?
We don't have a group, bro. It's just you and me.
When we used to, you know. Would you do you think that maybe I was that the alpha of the, nah. Let me stop. If anyone, I'd say Johnny. Johnny definitely had that going for him.
Bro, you know what I liked about our friend group is that we all had our individual good attributes that just complemented the group.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was about. And I like that because nobody like Johnny was there. Johnny was fun. People always looked at him like he was serious, but Johnny was fun. He was just his mind was a little more
mature. Let's just say what it is. He was very mature. For those of you who don't know, Johnny Pippin, he is one of the dearest souls that I've ever met. And this kid, bro, ever since I'm like, his birthday's on October 18th, on 17th, and mine's on the 18th. And I think I'm 2 years older than him. And with a 2-year advantage, he was years ahead of me when it came to being mature. He knew how to say, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, he knew how to.
He knew how to be like, guys, I'm not going today. My dad needs me.
Yeah.
It could
have been. And if you told him, like, bro, like, this is important, you know, you're a church musician, he'll be like.
So this is more important.
He'll be like, no, bro.
This is important.
That's commendable. Like
he's one of those people in the friend group that would like we said earlier, would be like, nah, I'm gonna influence this in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And even if I don't influence, because his intention wasn't to influence, it was to be righteous. And Johnny had his faults. We got into it all the time. But the thing is,
he used to piss me off.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's like, yo, just break the rules every now and then, bro. Come on, don't gotta be so hard, straight edge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was that dynamic that kind of set a good example for us. Because along the way, we were just like, you know what? We got to stop acting like kids eventually. He figured it out. Why can't we?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happens. This is going to go kind of like off topic but in topic. That's what happens when you have a really good father and mother figure in the home. When you have really good parental dynamics.
Yeah. That
they teach you boundaries. They teach you what is the priority, such as your family. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, the church, very important. His mother is a pastor's daughter, for goodness sake. But home, aquí, in this home, this is what matters. Mm-hmm. Because you might leave the town eventually, like he did, but this is always going to be your family. Mm-hmm. So creating that expectation of, no, just so you know, I'm a musician. I love what I do. Mm-hmm. And I want to be responsible in this ministry, which he always was. Mm-hmm. Bro, I remember one day he got out of Kmart. He used to work at Kmart. Mm-hmm. And he rushed to play at the service. And he played with his uniform on.
And then he went back. Yeah.
Who?
Not me. Not I.
Bro, there has to be a very deep level of integrity in a person to make it happen that way. Mm-hmm. And that was Johnny. But then, going back to what we were saying earlier, I mean, we have a very big issue when it comes to the submission, the worthiness of are you worthy of being followed? And we hear authority because we, as men, we do have an innate sense of authority, something that God placed in us. Mm-hmm. But that is to be used in a holy context. We cannot want to exude authority
in a righteous way.
Exactly. We cannot seek to control other people. Lead, do what you're going to do, and then if people are supposed to follow you and you're doing it in an integral way,
they will
follow you. And if you're not someone that's supposed to be followed, don't worry. You might fool a few people. Well, eventually they'll catch on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to a point that you want to get to. Strong men do not seek the spotlight. Mm-hmm. That is John 7, verses 1 to 9.
That's a long one. I got another verse for that, but we can get into it later.
Okay.
So this is Jesus and his brothers. 1 through what? 9?
1 through 9.
After this, Jesus traveled around Galilee. He wanted to stay out of Judea. where the Jewish leaders were plotting his death. But soon it was time for the Jewish festival of shelters.
Man had ops everywhere, bro.
And and Jesus' brothers said to him, "Leave here and go to Judea, where your followers can see your miracles. You can't become famous if you hide like this. If you can do such wonderful things, show yourself to the world." For even his brothers didn't believe in him. Jesus replied, red letters, now it is not the right time for me to go, but you can go anytime. The world can't hate you, but it does hate me because I accuse it of doing evil. You go on. I'm not going to this festival because my time has not yet come. And after saying these things, Jesus remained in Galilee.
Bro, that is such a power move, bro. He was like, I can go.
Bro, I know dudes that left the town because they owe somebody money. And Jesus is out here is being persecuted, followed by everybody and their moms. And he said he's at a festival with thousands of people probably, and he's like, "Nah, I'm a Mac here. I'm gonna stay here.
It's all right
because I got things to do here."
Mm-hmm. Notoriety and recognition is not on my agenda today. I don't need to go where people like me.
He already got it, low key.
Yeah, but he knew that he doesn't have to go where people like him. He's like, they're gonna hate me because guess what? I'm calling them out. I'm letting them know that what they're doing is wrong, that they're evil, and that's why they're plotting my arrest as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another instance where, and I'm going to paraphrase here, that goes along with this point that they don't seek the spotlight, where this mother comes with her kids and say, "Yo, I want my kids to be like at your right hand in the throne in heaven, in your kingdom." And Jesus was like, "What? Hold on. It don't work that way." Like, why do you think that they deserve the spotlight, the to be next to
at the right hand?
At the right hand, which
there's a certain figure that is around in the Catholic Church that claims to be at the right hand.
Yeah, and well, we love the Catholics.
We love the Catholic people.
Yeah, no, we love the Catholics. We love the Catholics, but
boy tripping though.
Yeah, slow, high key tripping, and I just feel like sometimes we kind of do, bro. Attention seeking for men is, in my opinion,
that dopamine is crazy.
It is, because it's not meant for us. It's not for us to be. It's not meant for us to handle.
I think it's so much better. Like for example, me. I know I post a lot like on social media, on my story on Instagram and all that. But I feel like I'm a very low key guy. Like, besides the gym,
humble brag.
Besides the gym, like I don't really go anywhere public because I don't like being noticed. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like the attention. I remember I was watching an interview one time and it kind of goes hand in hand. And it was that rapper A$AP Rocky. He was giving Jules. He's like the reason why men shower and do anything for themselves is just like the attention of women. Like if women weren't around, he's like if women weren't around, we wouldn't shower or do anything. I'm like,
Rakeem, this you?
Like how you know his government.
What you?
But I'm like, bro, like it shouldn't be about that. Like you shouldn't do things for attention, no matter who it's from. You should just do things for yourself. And I think
I can't believe I said free A$AP, bro. That man should have been in jail. What do you mean? We only shower for the attention of other people.
But I think we always go back to the point, like is in relationships.
How'd that man get Rihanna? Well, se bañó.
Se bañó.
He showered. That's how.
Yeah. And I think we always talk about like in terms of relationship, like when you get a certain type of woman or a certain type of woman, and it's not who you are, you gotta keep pretending to be that in order to. And I think it's the same as the spotlight. I think it's very hard nowadays to really be in the spotlight, being your authentic self.
It's damn near impossible.
So if you gotta fake a persona to get to the spotlight, you know how you gotta live your whole life as long as you're in that spotlight, in that persona.
Bro, I always said it. Keeping up a lie and keeping up a facade is the most exhausting thing a person can do. That's why people who have affairs for years, I don't know how y'all do it. I really do not know how y'all can go your entire lives lying to someone that you love, keeping up this second persona, bro. I posted, you know what? It's gonna go hand in hand with the point that you're trying to make here. For the first time a year ago, I went super viral. Video got like 7 million views, over 1 million likes, and it didn't feel natural to me.
Mm.
It didn't feel right because I'm like, yo, there are.
I like this. I never got to ask you like, how does it feel to really?
Well, it feels like, damn, I'm saying something that people are resonating with, which
Mm.
in and of itself is okay. But then the thought of, yo, there's 14 million eyes on me right now that are seeing what I'm doing. And if history is proven to be true, this is always a recipe for disaster. And I always reference the that the what is it? La altivez de espíritu. How do you call that, bro? Why do we learn these things in Spanish and disregard the English language, bro? Basically, the puffing up of the spirit
Mm.
is the beginning of the fall,
Mm.
and I'm terrified of that, bro. I am terrified because it's not the first time. I got other videos, a couple more that got over 5 million views
Mm.
and millions of likes, and I'm like, yo, I need to check myself because it feels good. Like, oh,
Yeah,
whoa,
that dopamine hit.
damn right, yeah. Oh my god, I resonate with this so much, and then simultaneously comes the hate,
Yeah,
and then I feel like the hate kind of helps me, keep it
keep
keep it in
yourself
check.
humble.
But it feels very odd. It is not normal because this is the first time in history that anybody can go viral for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the internet, this is a very new thing to us, and it is not normal. So now that this is like basically my normal, I'm seeing this happen every now and then.
Mm.
It's like, okay, I understand why this is not for us. I understand why this is for God and not for us. Because glory is a very unhuman thing that we cannot manage. Because we in of ourselves, it is innate in our spirit, in our soul, in our design. We're designed to worship something. We're designed to seek something, to seek worship. And the worst thing that can happen to us is when we turn to ourselves for that worship. Oh, this is for me. Oh, this belongs to me. Oh, I'm making it happen. Oh, I'm saying the right things. People are resonating with me, and then we just X God out of the formula. Forget God. I'm doing
Literally,
this.
literally.
And then when that spotlight, the spotlight for me is almost like a cancer, bro, because that spotlight gets to you, and it's very difficult for you to let go of it. Because at the end of the day, you were the one who made the video. You were the one who said what you said. So technically, oh, this is me, bro. Even this podcast, we're trying to, obviously we want it to get out there. We
Mm-hmm.
want millions of people to see it. But even in this, we have to be very careful to tread lightly and not to fall into the trap of, oh, this is for me. I like the fact that whenever we pray, we always say, God,
This is
yes,
yours.
this is yours. Block us out of this if necessary. Let this resonate with people, but let that return to you. That's basically our prayer.
Yeah.
And I hope that that never stops being true, because I've seen, bro, people start acting weird
Oh,
when they get a little bit of fame, bro. Hella weird. I know people that have gotten a little bit of fame and they start acting strange. They start moving differently,
they start going to those Diddy parties.
bro. Well, I guess we know the cut that Manny's gonna use. Oh my
Yo,
god!
but I'm gonna go on a rant real quick.
Please do.
I got another verse that is Acts 12:20 to 23, and then we're gonna add 24 maybe.
Go ahead. I'm
This
mute
is
myself.
Herod the king, right? Now Herod was very angry with the
Herod.
Herod. Now Herod was very angry with the people of Tyre and Sidon. So they sent a delegation to make peace with him because their cities were dependent upon Herod's country for food. The delegates won the support of Blastus,
Herod. Yeah.
Herod's personal assistant, and an appointment with Herod was granted. When the day arrived, Herod put on his royal robes, sat on his throne, and made a speech to them. The people gave him a great ovation, shouting, "This is the voice of God, not of a man." Instantly, an angel of the Lord struck Herod with sickness because he accepted the people's worship instead of giving the glory to God. So he was consumed with worms and died.
That is why. Bro, if there's ever been a great illustration for the elevation of the spirit is the beginning of the fall. Just right there.
This man got struck with sickness and died.
This man,
Cause God don't play about His glory.
God gave this man cooties, bro. He just got worms and died, bro.
And like adding on, like I have
Oh,
the other verse, James 4, we all know it. 10, humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up in honor.
yes.
This isn't. This isn't. It doesn't say pray to the Lord to humble you.
No.
Yeah, you can add that.
Humble yourself.
It's a act of self awareness. Basically, this is God saying you can do it. It's a mental thing. It's an action. Humble yourself, meaning that basically you have the ability to humble yourself. It's not about, oh, I have all these things and I'm just, you got to understand me. I have these clothes, I have this car. No, it says humble yourself because the Lord believes that you can do it. You can humble yourself. It's a state of mind, basically.
Bro, Psalms 138, verse 6.
There's a lot of Bible today.
Yeah, I love it. Though the Lord is exalted, he looks kindly on the lowly. I don't like this version, but whatever. He looks kindly on the lowly, basically the humble, though the lofty, basically the proud.
The pride.
Yeah, let me just, where is it? All right. Okay. Though the Lord is high, he is on high, he has respect unto the lowly, the humble,
Mm-hmm.
but the proud he know from afar. If you are a person who is proud at heart, who the spotlight is what you desire,
The limelight.
you're far from God. And it's interesting. It's interesting. A desire for fame is a symptom of distance from God.
So all those people that really want to get famous and they're like, oh, God is my everything. God is. It's kind of like counterintuitive. It's like,
Please, yeah, analyze it. Because here's the thing. If you have a good message, obviously, sometimes fame is inevitable, right? But then when the spotlight is what you want as a man, because again, we're talking about strong men here, the strongest men I know are also the humblest men I know. Like, you know them, you love them, but they're not always in everyone's business. They're not always acting up, trying to be seen. They're not always trying to get everybody to agree and cheer them on. No, it's fine. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be over here.
I
Go on
agree.
the rant.
I agree. I have a quote here that says, humility will sustain us for all that God has for us in the future. And if we look at the story of David, he didn't go straight to Goliath. David fought a lion, a bear, and then Goliath. So it's a muscle that basically, you had to start from just a little lion or a big lion, then a bear, then Goliath, because God had to prepare you.
Those were the wild things were.
I have a I have a personal story when it comes to pride and ego, and it's so dangerous.
Before you start, did you go on the rant that you were gonna go on, or did I cut you off?
No, that was kind of it. Like
All right,
that thing where God just kills homie for being
too much.
Yeah, for being too much. Because like I said last time, we're supposed to steward glory, not take it for ourselves. My father got deported.
Like officially?
No, he got deported, and I'm not gonna say anything else.
All right,
but he got deported, and you know, he's around here somewhere. And I remember somebody called him. He's not doing too good.
Okay.
Not physically, he's just not doing too good in terms of monetarily,
Right.
anything like that. And I think he's living with a family member. And somebody called him and they said, "How are you doing?" 40-year-old man, mid 40s, late 40s, I don't know. And this man puffed up his chest and said, "I'm doing fine. I've been chilling. I've been the best my girl left me, but I'm the best that I am right now. I got all these girls in this town after me. 40-year-old man, all these girls that are after him are like 20s, dangerous line to walk." And they just told me, they're like, honestly, it made me sad to see how even in the midst of how down he is, he couldn't even be humble enough to say, you know what? I'm down.
I'm not all right.
I'm down right now, but like, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Puffed up his chest and said, "Nah, everything is going great for me."
Mm-hmm.
And for what?
For what? See, that's the question. What for? Why do you want to give off this I'm all right, everything is good, don't worry about me type thing.
Because he wanted to exude that he didn't really need anything or anybody, or he wanted to exude that he got it all figured out.
Yeah. It's not a great character trait for men.
It's not, the first point, strong men are comfortable expressing difficult emotions like grief and sadness. Bro, if you're sad, if you
Be sad.
be sad, bro. There's no point in being sad and fighting battles in the dark, and then letting everybody else know on the outside world that you're doing well.
That you're
and
probably never gonna win by yourself.
this goes for everybody. That's the problem with a lot of men and the whole mental health thing. It's just that we fight our battles on our own all the time. All the time. And that leads to destruction, because if you fight the battle on your own, you're gonna lose on your own, and then eventually you're gonna have to need help anyway to get up.
Yeah, and then it's one of those things where like there's no reason that this got this far.
Yeah.
And I feel like as men, we've all been in a situation that we say to ourselves, there's no reason this has gotten this far.
Bro, my cause for depression in 2015 was because I had the illusion that I was all alone in this world. Even though there were people around me, I let myself to believe that nobody gave a damn about me. And that's one of my faults. Like, one thing that I always talk about is that people be like, oh, it was seasonal depression. Like, yeah, maybe, but it was also the fact that I made myself believe that.
Yeah.
I was going through whatever I was going through, and like, nobody cared. Even though there were people around me that clearly cared.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be that dude. I wanted to be that man that just sucked it up and was like, nah, I'm fine.
And I don't like the fact that that's become something like it's almost expected of men to do. It's why
that's a lie that men believe.
Bro, it's why the suicide rates for men are higher than anyone else, is because we really don't feel like we want to talk about these things. Like, what?
I hate your brother. As soon as you said the suicide rate for men is higher, and it's something that he says all the time. That's hilarious, but I'm not gonna say it here.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to ruin the essence of the moment.
It's not appropriate for.
It's really not.
Okay, I think I know what it is then. Which, damn, that's crazy that you thought about that.
Yeah.
But point is, sorry for the inside jokes, guys. At this point, we as men, we have to like move on. We have to leave that part of the stereotypical tough guy in the past, because it doesn't do any good, I feel. Yes, there's a certain moment where it's appropriate for us to save face.
Yeah, it's survival mode.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta,
Sometimes with our wives we can, but when their kids are, no. And even sometimes with our kids, we should.
The Bible says there's a time for everything under heaven.
Exactly, bro. I actually saw a post yesterday. It was in quotation marks. Oh, strong men don't cry. And then right under it was a verse. Jesus wept.
The strongest of them all, huh?
The strongest of them all. Do not tell me what men do. Don't tell me that men are these out of control, sinful, hard-ass men, when Jesus was the complete opposite. He was tough when he had to be. He was righteous when he had to be. But then when he needed to show emotion, which, just for context, the verse where Jesus wept was in Lazarus' funeral. He knew that he was going to resurrect him. He knew that he was going to call him out of that tomb.
Number 3, strong men are empathetic.
We were going to leave that for next week, but yeah. Strong men are empathetic. He was at a funeral. He saw family members crying over the death of a friend, of a family member. And guess what? He's like, nah, I'm going to add myself to this. I'm going to unite myself to their grief, because someone died. Okay? It is not normal for people to be resurrected. They're not expecting him to come back. Bro, and he was dead for a few days.
And this is the difference between us and Jesus. Jesus was so humble about it. Again, bro knew that he was going to resurrect him. Mm-hmm. Bro, if it was one of us, we would have been at the funeral like this.
Like, yeah, let them cry.
Yeah, let them cry.
Let them cry.
They don't even know what's about to happen. Nope.
They're like, watch this. No. Jesus was like, nah, I feel their pain.
Yeah.
Because it was a natural pain. Because guess what? He might have resurrected him then, but he was going to die eventually. Mm-hmm. So he knows that what they were feeling was completely appropriate. Mm-hmm. And He needed other people to see him in that light because he
He
was,
needed us to. He needed other people to. The Bible was written by men.
yeah.
He needed somebody that was in that vicinity to see him crying in order to put pen to paper and say Jesus wept.
Because guess what? We are gonna go through that, and it was never supposed to be unnatural. What I mean by that is Jesus did it so that we knew that it was okay.
Yes.
Hey, listen, it's okay. You're gonna cry.
Bro, I'm about to cry right now talking about this.
You can go ahead and do it.
Bro, it's crazy. Bro, it's
Are we
crazy.
gonna get some tears from
Bro,
Oscar
it's
today?
crazy. Just because, bro, it's so crazy how, like, this man is perfect, son, in every way.
Yeah.
Like, just so that in the future centuries later on, whoever's seen this man crying,
We could look back and say it's okay.
bro, 2024.
Let the tears flow. Your situation is gonna resurrect, but let the tears flow.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't resurrect, let the tears flow.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, yo,
I think God got this podcast today.
yeah, for real, for real. I'm very grateful, bro, that we can look at the life of Jesus and we can see what a man really is. We can compare it to what we see today and know what to say. Now that's nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone telling me that men don't cry. I don't want anyone telling me that men cannot feel emotions and express their emotions. I don't want anyone telling me that men have to seek the spotlight. There's a clear model to follow here, a clear path to follow, and I wish that more of my homies, bro, that more of us would just look at this and say, yo, you know what? This is the righteous path to follow. Maybe I haven't been doing it right this entire time. Many people are not going to believe me when I said this is what I'm going to start following right now. This is the right way. This is the blueprint right here for us men. If we as men got our emotions in check, we got our tongue in check, our empathy in check, we knew how to ask for help. We knew that we're not supposed to be violent, which I feel we're going to leave that for the next one.
Yeah.
So there's a couple more points here, and we would be so different as like the dynamic that we present with others. It would be so different. And I my prayer for today is that the men who have drank the Kool-Aid when it comes to what we're supposed to be, the red pill podcasts, the people who say, that alpha male narrative me tiene harto. Like, I'm sick of it. You're not supposed to be caring about what every other person does. Because I was thinking about it, and this might be a little bit of a rant, but I'm going to go off. In contrast with everything that we read here, these pseudo men, because I don't even consider them to be real men, these pseudo men who put on a character, a show, they want to sell us the idea that a man is a man who conquers everything. A man puts women down, and an alpha male is one that's always on top of things. And I'm like, yo, the only way that those things are relevant is if you are paying attention to what everyone else is doing. If you are in your own lane, being the man that God designed you to be, then the woman that you bring into your life is going to be the one and only person you're going to have to care about their opinion. Are you following the steps of God? Are you following the teachings of Jesus? Are you being emotionally available to her? Or are her emotions a priority to you? If we follow that with her, bro, everything else can just blow up.
Yeah, literally.
And if you're in your lane, you're doing what you have to do, you will inspire other people. You might not have a microphone, but you're going to have a platform. You're going to inspire everyone else to be like, yo, I can name like at least 10 men right now that I say I aspire to be like that person. They don't have a platform. I mean, they don't have a podcast, but their integrity is their platform. They stand on it every single time.
They stand on business.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to go down that path. You know what? Me either. You know what? We're going to do this today. You know what, bro? Me too. My neighbor Joe, every year, that man turns on his lawnmower to mow the lawn for the first time. I feel the peer pressure to get it going because I'm like, nah, wait a minute. This is a man in his 80s and he gets it done. He does it. He doesn't complain about it. He just makes it happen. Why would I not do that? There are certain examples that are worthy of being followed.
Yeah. There's just I feel like there's signs everywhere, man. It's just and I don't know. I think a lot of things in a spiritual sense, and I just feel like maybe Joe have being in your neighbor is just God's way of teaching you or teaching me. Like hey, remember mow your lawn today, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Sense of ownership, responsibility,
Yeah.
not having to let other people, your wife, have to tell you, remind you, yo, we're going to get a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
This is an embarrassing story. I'm going to tell it.
Hey man, sometimes God allows things to happen.
I'm going to tell it. So I got an arrest warrant because I was so lazy with my yard. I always had the excuse, and don't get me wrong, yeah, I was working hella long hours, left early in the morning and came back late at night. But that's not an excuse because I could have found a moment to do it. And then the arrest warrant came in because apparently I got a ticket for it and I never saw it, which in my defense, I never got the ticket.
Getting arrested for some grass is crazy.
That is ridiculous.
And we not talking weed here.
That was ridiculous. I went over like, yo, can I just pay this, please? Like, what's going on? Oh, well, you got this ticket, and I'm like, I've mowed my lawn 7 times since then. Well, you never paid this one. Y'all are sneaky.
Yeah, justice system is crazy.
Y'all are sneaky. But what I'm saying is, had I been like my neighbor Joe, had I been responsible with my things that I prayed for. Hold on. Had I been responsible with the blessings that I prayed to receive, I would not have found myself in that situation.
That's crazy perspective.
Because I prayed for this house. I prayed for this big yard. I prayed for this lawn. I prayed for a nice lawnmower that Carmen so graciously
He got that
got.
big body. He got the one that you stand on and you.
My lawnmower is supercharged, turbocharged, has everything on it. Got a spoiler on that.
For the car heads out there.
That thing is a 6-speed transmission. That thing will do 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. I'm driving a Cybertruck for a lawnmower.
Yo,
and,
says the logo on it.
And I didn't turn it on to do it. I bought that because it's going to be easier and I'll get it done.
So anytime the cops could have just came in here throughout that span of whatever and just be like, Yohan Santana, you're under arrest for.
Bro, legit.
And they never did.
They never did. I could have gotten pulled over on the road. Hey, you got a warrant in Luzerne County for your arrest. What? For grass. For some grass, bro. You see?
My mom would have looked at you and she would have said,
Yo,
you know what my mom would have said?
Don't.
She would have been like, qué bueno que te metí en preso. That's what my mom said. I'm happy that you got arrested.
Yo.
You said an embarrassed story. I'm gonna say an embarrassed story now, just to kind of finish.
Please.
Just to lighten.
Please take this off. Take this off of me,
bro. I remember I had a warrant. I think it was. No, I didn't have a warrant. I hadn't paid my insurance for my car for the whole year, and I got a ticket. And they gave me a ticket, and my mom looked at the ticket. She's like, "It says here that you didn't have insurance." I was like, "Yeah, I haven't paid insurance for a whole year." And she's like, "You know what would happen if you got into a car crash and you had no insurance?" She's like, "I think you get arrested, right? Something like that. Something happens,
possibly, or you have to pay it out of pocket."
Yeah, and she goes like, "If the police come to this house knocking, I'm gonna tell them exactly where you live." Because that's irresponsible of you to not pay, like you driving around without insurance.
And you're married at this point, right? Like you're not even living there, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them exactly where you live.
She's like, I'm gonna tell them exactly where you live.
Better send the cops a location, bro.
I'm like, and she's like, tú lo que eres un delincuente.
Oh my God.
She said that to me. I was old enough, so it didn't affect me. She's like, eso lo que tú eres.
What do you mean, bro? I don't care if I'm in my 40s. Bro, if my mom calls me a delinquent,
yeah, because it's illegal to drive without insurance. She's like, so tú lo que eres un delincuente.
I cry.
If they come here, I'm gonna tell them where you live, bro. I'm like, damn.
Bro, what is wrong with this, bro? Well, was. I feel like that's something that we put behind us.
Yeah.
Straight up. I feel like we're past that. We're not. These are responsible men. Like I'm telling you this story. Carmen, she saw the warrant. She's like, ¿Tú no te da vergüenza a ti?
Yo.
I was like, yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I can't, bro. You can't argue with the facts. You see a consequence staring you dead in the eyes. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, literally.
You poke the bear. Now the bear's looking at you like, what now? What are you gonna do?
Literally. That's crazy, yo.
Oh, look, if it isn't the consequence of my own actions, that is what it is. Y'all, we love you. This is Stay Uncomfortable. We got uncomfortable at the end.
Yeah.
We're going to do the part 2 to this one. Absolutely. We have to because this is important. Strong Men, part 2, coming next week. Y'all take it easy now.
Peace.